say you can tell a lot about a man from his hands, what he does for a living, what he's capable of, how he handles things. Our hands tell a story. In some ways, they show the world how we've lived our lives. I work with my hands every day, and they usually reflect it. Dirt, grime, cuts and scrapes are all part of what I do, and that's okay, because it's all a part of what I enjoy. But what else do my hands show the world about me or about my life? Maybe my hands don't always convey the story I'd like to tell. Sometimes these hands are closed and angry fists instead of being open and loving, or they appear to be held up to keep people away. Sometimes I feel like keeping my hands in my pocket and minding my own business because I just don't want to be bothered, because it's not my problem, when I really should be reaching out and lifting someone up out of their situation. All of this makes me think of the hands of my Savior, Jesus Christ, and what it would have meant if he had chosen to keep his hands up or kept them in his pockets for fear of getting dirty. Because I imagine Jesus' hands reflect the story of his life. And if I could touch them right now, I suspect they'd be rough and worn, solid and sure, but also gentle and loving, all at the same time. They'd be hands that had spent a lifetime reaching out and carrying people. They'd be hands that held on to everything that was important, and hands that showed the scars of letting everything go so that Jesus could fulfill the work he came to do. Jesus' hands still bear the signs of that sacrifice he made for me, for you, for the whole world. Scars from his death on the cross, a death to serve as payment for all of those times we shook our fists in anger and used our hands to keep someone down, or when our hands were quicker to take than to give. Jesus repaired what we had broken, our relationship with the Holy God. He could have simply kept his hands clean and left us to get what we deserved. But instead, he came into this world to finish the work that God had laid out for him, which was to restore what he had created. In the beginning, Lord, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. So while my hands often show the results of days bending and shaping metal and firing a forge and shoeing horses, I hope they can also be seen as hands that are willing to come together in prayer to thank my Savior for his work on my behalf. I hope people can see past the dirt and the bruises and the scrapes, and instead of seeing me, they can see Jesus at work in my life, and most importantly, they can know what it feels like to be held in his hands forever. When I think of Jesus' sacrifice, I'm reminded of the words of Charles Spurgeon. It is wonderful how God works by our hands, and yet his own hand does it all. What about you? What do your hands say about you and your life? Are you ready to loosen your grip on the old you and instead put your life in the hands of the one who promised to hold you and to never let you go?